Good afternoon and welcome to another exciting edition of high school basketball with the Bethany Christian Bruins. Tonight, in junior varsity girls action, it's the Titans of Trinity School at Greenlawn taking on the Bruins in the final Hoosier Plains Conference girls JV basketball action of the season for Bethany Christian, as we are counting down to the final 2 7-minute periods of the conference season for the Bruins in blue and white. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tony Miller with you high above courtside. We're up in the east end zone where the teams are making their way off the court to get some final instruction from their coaching staffs, as we are counting down to tip off, about 75 seconds on the game clock. The Bruins looks like they were dressing 6 players for the JV game tonight, which is why we're only playing those 2 7-minute periods, because there's a limit to how many quarters you can play in the course of a session. And if we had played 4, we'd have been pushing it to keep everybody eligible for the varsity game later on this evening. The teams are back in front of their benches receiving final instructions, and we'll get things going here in a matter of moments from Buller Court on the campus of Bethany Christian Schools. For the Bruins, I see, looks like Adrian Chupp leading the starting lineup out onto the floor. Corey Chupp, number 10 as well. Carly Kroom, we've got Ellie Morris, and who are we missing? Kendra Kern out there. For Trinity, at the center jump circle is number 15, Petra Bartik. She's joined by Hattie Woodward, a 5'2 sophomore guard, Maeve Hunsberger, a 5'6 sophomore guard, and Magnolia Corey, a 5'4 freshman guard. The lineup rounded out by the other forward at 5'5", Abby Kotkamp, a junior. Ball is in the air. The tip comes over and is grabbed on the floor by number 20 for the Bruins. That's Kendra Kern. She throws it over in front of the bench, and it's out of bounds, so the alternating arrow is going to favor Trinity, even though it is Trinity basketball, because the Bruins won the tip. They just didn't do a whole lot of productive things with it as the ball went out of bounds. Coming into the lane, here's a jump shot from the left side. That was up from Hunsberger and unsuccessful. The Bruins have the rebound as they go from left to right on your streaming device. Bounce pass into the lane from Morris is a turnover, second of the game for the Bruins. Coming the other way with it, Hunsberger over on the right side wing for Trinity, which is in the traveling green uniforms, white numerals. And the Titans will go from right to left on your streaming device. That ball's knocked out of bounds. They'll say it's out of bounds off of Trinity. So their first giveaway of the game gives the ball back to the Bruins with about 36 seconds gone here in the opening quarter. Pass comes back out to Corey Chupp on the baseline. There's a 3-point try in the corner, and Morris has the first point for the ball game. So Bethany with a 3-0 lead, 50 seconds gone here in the first quarter. This is Woodward spinning to her left and coming across the timeline. Left-handed dribble in the hands of Magnolia Corey, who splits a pair of defenders, switches over to her right hand, gives the ball to Kotkamp on the right side wing. There's a 3-point try from the left side wing that is up and a little bit strong as the Bruins get the rebound, and they're going to come back the other way, looking to extend the first quarter lead. There's another try from Morris, and nothing but the bottom of the net. I mean that in the good way, of course. She's got all 6 points, and Bethany leads by the count of 6-0. Woodward's picked up on defense by Morris, about 10 feet short of the timeline. Her pass over to the right side is through the hands of Hunsberger and out of bounds for a turnover. So the ball will go back to the Bruins. Not quite 90 seconds gone here in the first quarter. Working to the right, laterally across the top of the circle, that's Morris. Bounce pass comes underneath. They're going to go further underneath. Adrian Chupp with the layup. Misses it on the short side. Rebound is knocked around and grabbed by Hunsberger. And they'll give it to Woodward and try to come up the floor for Trinity. Looking ahead to the stats for the varsity contest, Trinity has had some trouble just getting the ball in the basket. They've been held to about 22 points a game, and that's in 28 minutes. Or 32 minutes, as the Bruins get a rebound and turn the ball over on the outlet pass. So it stands to reason that if the varsity team is having trouble scoring, the JV team is probably not much better at it. As a 3-point try is on the way and left short off the iron from Hattie Woodward. Rebound taken by Chupp, and Morris will lead the Bruins out. It's a fast break up ahead to Adrian Chupp, who was hit as she went up for the left-handed layup. Morris has the ball in the corner. Going to work toward the wing, throws it back to the free throw line for the jump shot that's off the rim 3 times and out of the hands of Carly Kroom. With the rebound for Trinity, number 21, Hunsberger, gives the ball back to Woodward. Haven't seen any substitutions yet, and the Titans are dressing 11 players for the JV game. Although, and I look over at the bench, and most of them look like they're in uniform. Here is a steal from Kern. She's going to lead the Bruins back to the forecourt. Bounce pass into the lane for Morris. Layup on the way and good. It is Ellie Morris 8, Trinity at Greenlawn nothing, with 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. At the foul line, Hattie Woodward, that's her own foul line. Hattie Woodward dribbles on the right-hand side of the floor, and we're going to get a timeout called by, has to be Trinity, with 4:01 to go first quarter. One of the weird realities about a two-period JV game is that even though you're only playing 14 minutes, you still get your full complement of timeouts. And we have certainly seen teams opt to use that as the season goes on. The reality is that if you're playing 2 quarters of a JV game, usually one team is a little bit undermanned, so it's to their advantage to use those timeouts. That would be the Bruins in this case, who are dressing 6 for the JV contest, as Bethany is going to go to the bench for the first time tonight, and Morgan Chupp checks in, wearing uniform number 32. Trinity gets the ball back after the timeout. They're over on the right side wing. That's Magnolia Corey in the corner, defended by Chupp. Morris picks up the defense right side of the circle as Bartek works over to the right into a double team. She throws the ball back over the top to Woodward, top of the circle. Now left-hand corner, this is Abby Kotkamp with the basketball. Goes further down along the baseline, and Woodward's going to bring it back out, and she traveled. Trinity turnover gives the ball back to the Bruins, and we're going to go to the bench for the Titans. Number 45 checks into the ballgame. That's Liana Staffelbach, making her first appearance of the night. As it's Bethany basketball with an 8-point lead coming up on the quarter point of this 14-minute game. Shupp turns around to the free throw line, loses the basketball, and the tie ball is going to give it to Trinity on the arrow with 3:26 to go in the first quarter, or the first half. And that comment is how we will know if the Bruin English department is watching, because they will text me and get into the semantics of whether it's a quarter or a half when you're only playing 2 periods, even though it's the length of time that we usually refer to as a quarter. On the other end of the floor, it's going to be Chupp getting him the tie-up with Hunsberger. That will give the ball back to the Bruins. So that trip on the alternating possession arrow lasted about 14 seconds as Trinity gives the ball back. I've got them with 4 giveaways and the Bruins with 3 here in the first 4 minutes. Morris into the lane, splits a couple of defenders, kicks the ball out to Corey Chupp on the right side. There's contact and a foul. And it's going to go against the Bruin guard. Chupp picks up her first personal, team foul number 1. You also get your full complement of 5 player fouls in a 2-period JV game, but the fouls don't reset at halftime like they would in a 4-quarter game. On the right side wing with the basketball, that's Hattie Woodward going down into the corner. The Titans have not had a whole lot of luck getting shots up, let alone getting them to fall, as the shot from Hunsberger falls well short. Rebound taken by the Bruins, and Morris is going to lead the team out into the forecourt. She pauses between the circles, works over to the left, a little bit of contact, but it's ignored as Morris pulls up, goes over to the right side. Corey Chupp underneath to Adrian Chupp. Layup might have been altered. It's on the short side. Second shot was definitely altered. It's going to go out of bounds and over to Trinity with 2:29 to go in the opening half. Checking back into the ball game for the Bruins, number 22, Carly Kroom. And they will send somebody to the bench who, from my vantage point, is behind JV coach Brent Reinhardt. We'll figure out who that is eventually because she's not on the floor anymore. 8-0, Bethany in front. 2:20 to go, first with 2:18 to go until the midpoint of this 2-quarter game. Here's a free throw line jumper off to the right from Petra Bartik. Bruins have the rebound. Morris is out on the fast break, goes around a defender, stops on the left side block, and misses the shot. It rolled off the iron 3 times and fell off, and then we're going to get a traveling violation on Trinity after the rebound that will give the ball back to the Bruins with 2:03 to play. Again, coming up later this evening at about 7 o'clock, we'll have the varsity contest. Here's a 3-point try from Morris that's off the short side of the iron. Staffelbach has the rebound for Trinity, gives the ball over to Woodward, who will walk it up the right side of the floor. 3-point try from Woodward on the right side wing. That one's too strong. Rebound is out of bounds. They're going to say, are we going to get a signal as to who it's off of? It looked like it hit Bartik last, as the Bruins will go back to the bench. That is Morgan Chupp taking a seat. So it's Corey Chupp and Ellie Morris in backcourt. Adrian Shupp up front, along with Carly Kroom and somebody who's over in the corner. That's Kendra Kern. Turnaround jumper from Kroom up and good. She's in the book for the first time tonight, and the Bruins lead is into double figures at 10-0. Working up the right side of the floor, Woodward defended by Morris, who is all up in her grill. Adrian Shupp joins for the double team as they get across the timeline, and it'll be a foul on the Bruins. We'll see which one of the defenders is picked up with the infraction by Ron Mack, who we've seen a lot this year as an official. Adrian Shupp picks up her first, team second. Trinity basketball again. Coming to the top of the circle is Woodward going over to the left side, Staffelbach. Pass goes into the corner, and Totkamp is double-teamed. Staffelbach on the left side wing. Jumper from Woodward from about 17 feet. Too strong off the iron, but off the window, but missed the iron. Bethany comes out back into the forecourt down the left side. This is Morris in the dribble, crossing over to her right hand. Ellie goes underneath the Kroom. Shot is up off the right side of the iron. Adrian Shupp gets the rebound and has the ball taken away. Staffelbach dove on the floor, and when she did that, she gave up her pivot foot. So it'll be Bethany basketball as Morgan Shupp checks back into the game and Morris takes a seat. 56 7/10 seconds remaining first quarter. Pass comes in for a three-point try from Morgan Shupp. That's off the flange at the back of the iron. Rebound out of bounds. It's going to go to Trinity off the Bruins. There were about 3 people down there. Coming up the floor for Trinity is Hattie Woodward. She's going to come through right down the middle of the court, through between the toes and the palm of the Bruin paw at center. Woodward's three-point try from the corner too strong. Rebound deflected a couple of times before Totkamp gets it. Shupp goes in for the steal and knocks the ball out of bounds. That's Morgan Shupp. I have to remind myself that there are 3 Chupps on the Bruin varsity or the Bruin JV roster, and well, I mean that's literally half the team since they're only dressing 6 tonight. Anyway, we have to be specific with our Chupp identification. Over on the right side wing, Hunsberger gives the ball back out to Woodward. Three-point shot is up and too strong. Long rebound out to Kendra Kern with 25 seconds left in the quarter. Kern brings the Bruins across the timeline herself. That's Corey Chupp in the corner, giving the ball back out to Morgan Shupp right of the circle. Turning around, going up with the shot is Kroom, and she scores. Carly Kroom with the Bruins' last 4 points. It's 12-0 Bethany. Woodward gets the basketball, comes into the forecourt with 5 seconds to go. Woodward over to the right side wing. Going to the corner, hoists a 3 with 2 seconds left. It's short off the iron, and the quarter comes to a close. It's Bethany 12, Trinity 0. So with that, the teams are going to go back to their benches, and we will get some a chance to remind you that coming up on BruinsVision, we've got more basketball later this evening for those of you who like basketball. Also, more basketball coming up for those of you who don't really care for basketball and are just watching to support the 2 teams involved. As the varsity teams will go at it in what Bethany hopes is confirmation of its undefeated Hoosier Plains Conference season. The Bruins and the Titans tipping off about 7 o'clock this evening. Bethany is 4-0 in the HPC this year. If Trinity wins, there would be a tie at the top of the standings between Bethany and Argus. If Bethany wins, well, when you beat everybody else, it's pretty easy to call yourself the champion. Teams coming back out on the floor here, or they should be, as we're going to get set to start the second quarter. For the Bruins, I see Carly Kroom, number 22. I see Corey Chupp, number 10. I see Kendra Kern, who is number 20. We've also got Ellie Morris, of course, number 24, and Adrian Chupp, number 12. It's going to be Staffelbach coming onto the floor last for Trinity. Lauren Urbanski has the basketball. We've got a timeout called, and I think we have inappropriate ear adornment going on with one of the Trinity players. So they're going to be sent off the floor, and we're going to get the second quarter started. Magnolia Corey comes onto the floor. Hattie Woodward back out there. We've got Staffelbach, number 45. Number 32 is Abby Totkamp, and number 15 is Petra Bardick. Here's a turnover for the Titans that leads to Morris running out the other way and laying up and scoring. Ellie Morris now with 10 points. The Bruins have 14. The Bruins, incidentally, do have the alternating arrow if that is needed now, because it was Trinity basketball on the arrow to start the quarter. Pass comes down here into the left side corner. That's Woodward backing the ball back out. She's going to put up a three-point shot and hit it. Hattie Woodward puts the biscuit in the basket. Trinity is down now by 2 scores in NFL parlance as the playoffs get started this evening. 14-3, the Bruins in front as the pass went behind Adrian Schupp, who wasn't really looking for it. Turnover charge to the Bruins, and we're going to get Lauren Urbanski back into the game, having dealt with the equipment infraction that caused her to not be able to start the quarter. 6:09 to go in regulation time, Bethany by 11. On the left side wing, this is Corey with the basketball. She looks to her right some more, looked to her left, and then went back to Staffelbach, who traveled with it, as the ball goes over to the Bruins. Bethany scored the first 14 points of the game before the three-pointer the last time down put the Titans on the scoreboard. Bounce pass into the corner gets Morris, who is back up against the sideline more than I think she realizes. Out to the top of the circle. Kern puts the ball back to Morris in the corner. She steps out toward the perimeter, goes down to the left side block, shoots and scores. Ellie Morris with 12. Bruins lead at 16-3, and we're going to get a timeout called by Brent Reinhardt on the Bruin bench. Now we'll see what variety of timeout he called, what flavor, if you will. No, we've got a Trinity timeout. I take that back. Both teams look like calling for timeouts at the same time, as it'll be Titan basketball off the Bruin make. So the Bruins lead this one by 13. And we have 5:36 to go in the second half, or the second quarter. Of course, coming up on BruinsVision, we also have the boys' home games the rest of the season, as they will be back in action Tuesday night at Prairie Heights. A little bit of a tough week to play a non-conference game as the Northeast Corner Conference tournament wraps up tonight. The Bi-County tournament, I think, is next weekend, so you get a couple of the leagues from which the Bruins draw non-conference opponents that don't really want to play boys games on this weekend because they're either finishing a tournament or starting another. Working over to the left side with the basketball for Trinity. This is Hunsberger going down toward the baseline, running into Kern, using her arm to shield the defender. They throw it up top. The pass is going to go through the hands of Corey. It is run down in backcourt for Trinity, or forecourt for the Bruins, by Morris, underneath to Adrian Schupp, who was moved out of the way with great vigor by Maeve Hunsberger, who will pick up her first foul of the game. In fact, it's the first foul of any sort against the Titans. Good job of using her size to force the action from Hunsberger. She just did a little bit much of it, as the layup is missed by the Bruins off the inbound pass. Coming the other way with the basketball is Urbanski. They work over to the left side, do the Trojans. Corey with the ball, defended by Corey Schupp. That's Corey, a last name, and Corey, a first name, going head-to-head. Off the steal, Morris up ahead to Kroom for the layup. She rolls it in over the right side of the iron. She's got 6 points for the Bruins. Right now it is Morris 12 and Kroom 6, and that's how you get to 18. 4:39 to go in regulation. Trinity works the ball over to the left side wing. Corey with the basketball into the corner for Urbanski. She turns around Kern and goes baseline. Throws it underneath to Staffelbach, who wasn't really looking for it and was quickly double-teamed. Corey's out on the left side wing. Now to the right side slot. That's Hunsberger with the basketball. Underneath for Staffelbach. She was stripped on the way up by Kroom, and they're going to get the foul on the Bruin post player. Her first, team foul number 3. And it will send the bespectacled Staffelbach to the foul line. Couple of spins of the basketball later. The first free throw is up and good. So Staffelbach is into the book for the first time tonight. Morgan Schupp back into the game for the Bruins as Kroom takes a seat. 18-4, the Bethany lead, with 261 seconds remaining in regulation, if you want to count them down. Second free throw is up and good from Staffelbach. The Titans have had trouble getting untracked on offense, just one field goal tonight, but pure form on the free throws from the 5'2 freshman guard. In the corner, the Bruins have the basketball. Jump shot is up and rattles out. Morris got a hand on the rebound. It's going to squirt out of bounds and will go over to Trinity. The rebound will go out of bounds, not Morris's hand, I mean. As checking back in, Abby Kottkamp for Trinity. So the Titans hold the Bruins without a score on that possession, but they trail it by 13 with 4 minutes to go, which is not typically a position you want to be in. Hunsberger back in the center jump circle, works over to the left side, Magnolia Corey. Over on the right side wing, Kern getting all in the business of Kotkamp. This is Hunsberger, left of the circle, driving around Shupp, who is trying to make herself as large as possible. Now Urbanski takes it between the circles, dribbles to her right off a screen from Kotkamp, runs into a double team. Morris goes down, and I was going to say I suspect I know how that's going to finish, as the tie ball will go to the Bruins, so give Bethany the steal with 3:36 to go in the second quarter, second half. Again, only playing 14 minutes in the JV game this evening because of some numerical unavailability for the Bruins. Unavailability? Disavailability? I forget exactly how the English language makes that word work. Bounce pass comes across the baseline here, and we're going to get possession, or a foul called underneath, rather, on the Titans. See who they get that one on. 22, Magnolia Corey, her first. Morris takes the inbound pass, drives from the right wing, floater in the lane, off to the right, no good. The Titans almost get a held ball going amongst themselves, but Hunsberger's able to dribble out of it. 3:09 to go in the second. Hunsberger, right of the circle, picked up by Corey Chupp. Staffelbach on the right side wing, throws it back to Urbanski, top of the circle. Staffelbach gets it back on the wing. One dribble later, pass goes over, and goodness, that was a three-point shot from Corey that was high off the backboard and no good. Morris goes out in front to Morgan Chupp, who steps back and misses the layup. She caught herself just half a step too close to the basket, had to back up and couldn't get the shot to go. This is Kern at the free throw line, looking over to the left, wide open is Morris, down to the baseline for Adrian Chupp, who misses the short jumper. Urbanski on the rebound for Trinity, and we're going to get a tie ball that will go to the Titans with 2:35 to go in regulation. As substitutions ensue, Petra Bartik back into the game for Trinity, and Bethany responds with Carly Kroom, I think, coming off the bench. So 2.5 minutes left as Hunsberger gets the ball on the left side wing. Kern comes out to meet her, and they're going to get Hunsberger pushing off. That's a player control foul, rather, on Trinity, which is still a turnover. 2:26 left in regulation. As the pass comes in from backcourt, Morris comes into the forecourt for the Bruins. Left side wing, this is Kern with the basketball. They skip it over to Corey Chupp. Well, they were trying to skip it to Corey Chupp, and they skipped it into the third row of the student section. So Bethany gives the ball right back. At this point, I have to think the songbooks can all but be passed in terms of winning and losing this game, with a 13-point Bruin lead, and Trinity having mustered just one field goal so far. But certainly, I mean, JV games are here for development. You want to see a crisply played last couple of minutes. Over on the right side wing, Urbanski puts up the three-point shot. That's off to the left, hits the front of the iron. Second opportunity is off to the right from Bartik. Bruins get the rebound, with Kroom giving the ball to Morris, coming into the forecourt with 1 minute and 4/5 to go. Morris runs it down off the deflection over in front of her own bench, skips it back out to Chupp, right side of the circle, three-point shot, rattles out. I thought that was halfway down. Offensive rebound to Carly Kroom, and the layup is good. She's got 8 points. Bethany leads by 15 now at 20-5. One more bucket for Kroom would be golden points. She's player number 22, and the Bruins would get there with one more field goal. 83 seconds to go in regulation as Kroom gets the steal and goes crashing into the bleachers. She'll rejoin the play as Morris slows things down to come through the left side of the center jump circle. 73 seconds to go in regulation time. Pass goes over to Chupp. Now Adrian Chupp back to Morris in the corner. Corey Chupp back to Kendra Kern at the top of the circle. Skips it back to the left side, Adrian Chupp. Bounce pass goes down into the corner with 1 minute to go in regulation. Turning around and shooting is Kroom. She's fouled, and she'll go to the line with 59 and 1/10 seconds remaining. Petra Bartik picks up her first personal foul, team foul number 4, and Kroom will go to the charity stripe. First free throws of the game for the Bruins. Staffelbach hit a couple for Trinity a couple of minutes ago. Kroom sinks the first. She's got 9 points today, including 5 in the second half. Gets the ball back from the official underneath for the second free throw, and that is off to the right. Ball bounces into the corner where it's run down by Staffelbach. Trinity will come into the forecourt with 53 seconds left in regulation. Over the top of the circle, that is Urbanski with the basketball. She goes to Hunsberger, right side wing, trying to drive against Adrian Chupp. Back out for a three-point try that's off the far side of the rim. Rebound taken by Kendra Kern, and the Bruins can get a fast break going, but they won't, as Morris will slow things down and walk it through the toes of the Bruin paw in the center jump circle with 31 seconds remaining. Pass goes over toward the Bruin bench. It's knocked out of bounds by Urbanski, and it'll be Bethany basketball with 28 9/10 to go. Chupp throws the ball in, and did she step across the sideline? I believe she did. So we're going to get some discussion from the Bruin bench and the officials, and maybe it was a 5-second count. No? We're going to move the throw-in back down a little bit. 0.4 of a second ran off the clock while that discussion happened. Granted, in a 16-point game, I'm not sure it matters a whole lot. Morris drives the lane, left side wing, out to the corner for Corey Chupp. Back top of the circle, that's Kendra Kern. Bounce pass to Adrian Chupp with 13 seconds to go. Morris gets the ball back right side corner. Underneath pass is deflected. It's going to be grabbed by Trinity. Kotkamp has the ball. Urbanski comes into the forecourt, 5 seconds and 4. Drives down to the right side block. Shot is up and too strong. Rebound, Corey Chupp, and there's the buzzer. Pass in the songbooks. The Bruins get the win. So Bethany outscores Trinity by the Dolly Parton score of 9-5 in the second stanza. We'll take a look at our final unofficial scoring for both teams. Then we'll wrap things up and send it back to, I would say, the studio. Not like we really have a studio, but we'll get you set up for the varsity game here in a matter of moments. Unofficial scoring, really easy because only 4 people scored. For the Bruins, Carly Kroom with 9, Ellie Morris with 12. That's how you get to 21. For the Trojans, Hattie Woodward with 3, and Liana Staffelbach with 2. It was 12 points in the first and 9 in the second for the Bruins, 0 in the first and all 5 points in the second for Trinity. With that, the sands of time have slipped through the hourglass. You can pass in the songbooks on another Bethany Christian basketball game. Final score, Bethany Christian 21, Trinity 5. And with that comes the end of another BruinsVision telecast. This copyrighted telecast has been brought to you by the authority of Bethany Christian Schools Incorporated. It may not be reproduced or disseminated in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be retransmitted without the express written consent of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball. Our executive producers are Tyson Miller and Kyle Stocksdale, Bethany's head of school, Dr. Tim Lehman, the principal, Hank Willems, Gary Chupp, and Kevin Miller, the athletic director and assistant AD, respectively. The emergency backup table crew is Stella Wilson, Milo Yoder, and Addison Yoder, and our 11th president, James K. Polk, was the first one not to seek a second term. If you're tuning in for the varsity game, we encourage you to remain on this page. Check out youtube.com/@BethanyLivestream. We'll get the varsity stream coming up here in a couple of minutes. Now, for our entire BruinsVision crew, I'm Tony Miller saying thanks for spending part of your evening with us. Until the varsity game tips off right around the top of the hour, good night, good luck, and don't run with scissors.